Hey Gators, welcome back to Sittin with Simmons. Again, I'm Bob Simmons, your head men's basketball coach, and joining me today is Coach Justin Linzy, the head track and field coach here at Allegheny College. Coach Linzy, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me, Coach. Thank you. I know it probably wasn't your idea to have me on the show. I know Greg had to push you to do it, but I'm having me.
So Gators, you see how this show's going to go, right? I'm going to lose control right from the start. So before he takes over, let me introduce today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is the National Beard Enhancement Group. Why? Look at the beard that Coach Linzy is rocking. My man can grow a beard. He's a little help at times, but he has it going. So that's our sponsor of the show. Coach Linzy, let's start it off here. Let's start with an easy one, all right? Well, because we're going to get deep here. Let's start with an easy one. This is your fourth year here at Allegheny College? Fifth year at Allegheny College. What made you come to Allegheny College?
This just so happened that this opportunity opened up here at Allegheny, and I knew of the institution because I had competed here as a track and field athlete, and I knew who Bill Ross was as the head coach at that time, and I knew the reputation of the program, and I put my name in and got an interview, and so here we are. I was very blessed to receive the opportunity to be here.
Question I have for you is it on purpose that you have your athletes stretch right outside my office window?
Yes, it is. Because I know that you love the noise, especially when you're in a very important, maybe a practice planning meeting. So the kids enjoy the loud music, and I always tell them, don't be afraid to knock on that window down there at the basketball coach's office.
Coach, I can tell you, your athletes listen well. That your athletes follow instruction. My favorite. I think I could be a really good track coach. I got it down. All I got to do is yell, "Hammer down, right?
Yeah, that's a coaching point that everybody gets at some point in their careers.
Hammer down.
Your sprinter here.
Hammer down. I hear that in my sleep during the track and field season. Hammer down. So Coach, before we got on, you were talking a little bit about your golf game. I know you love to play. You love to get out there and hit it around a little bit. So, in the Allegheny Athletic Department, who would you say is the best golfer, the number one golfer? Who's the best?
Well, you would think that it would be Coach Groff, but that's not the case. Probably Brandon Crum, probably Coach Crum, our head baseball coach. I haven't seen Coach Greg play yet, but I've heard stories about his game, which, I kind of thought of myself, maybe I'm the third, maybe fourth best golfer, but, I think that's been pushed down now that Coach Greg staff. So, yeah, probably Coach Crum.
So between you and Coach Crum, who could throw a club the furthest? Because I've played with both of you and I've witnessed this. Who could throw the club the furthest?
I really think that depends on the spin that you get on the club. But I've seen Coach Crum chuck a club as well, and he can chuck it pretty far with that baseball arm, the runner's arm over here. So.
So, Coach, which one of your favorite? You're a big fan of ours. You're at a lot of our games. Your athletes come to a lot of our games, and they bring that energy. I'm remembering the one game, close game at home, and you had your athletes sitting right behind our bench. I didn't realize it till all of a sudden I hear you yell out, "Give them two," and turn around. Give them three. That's right. I'm sorry. Give them three. That's right. Give them three. And so what's one of your favorite moments from this past year, basketball moments from this past year?
Well, I was always a huge fan of Jordan Rawls. I love watching that young man play. Obviously, he's a guy that's probably in your program, you miss him, from that standpoint. But I think that moment, where we had an opportunity to cheer on the team and beating a team like Wabash, who I believe was ranked in at least the top 15 in the country at that time, that's huge, especially for, a program that is on the rise, right? You guys right now are on the rise, and you've been doing a wonderful job getting the program back to a respectable level, and now trying to make that next step to a level that is a more dominant level, and having an opportunity to win a championship. And I think a win over Wabash like that, that's a very good program, sets the stage for the expectation to grow, which is exactly what you want out of a program. So that's my favorite moment.
That was great. And we loved having you guys there. And, obviously, how we feel about you. I stop by your practices and talk to your athletes and try to get them fired up a little bit. Coach, in all honesty, full disclosure here, you coached me for a month. How good of a track athlete could I be?
For a month?
For a month. You got me for a month. How good could I be? What can you do for me in a month?
It depends on what event we're talking about. If we're talking about the sprints, absolutely nothing. I can probably get you over a bar in high jump, I think, and what I mean by a bar is I mean a bar that's probably shorter than me, which is pretty low. So, I think I could do that. And I would say that that's a victory.
Well, I would agree, because I tell everybody all the time, Simmonses are not built for jumping. So we might have to take you up on that challenge.
Look forward to it.
Give you a month and see what you can do. Coach, here in town, Meadville, a lot of places to eat. What's your go-to? Where are you going to eat? You have that moment to get out, lunch or dinner. Where are you going?
That's a sore subject for me right now, Coach, because Chovi's Italian restaurant was my favorite place to go. And because of the pandemic, they have since shut business down at Chovi's Italian restaurant. And that's very sad, but, I mean, I think Meadville has 68 places that you can eat. Good, wonderful mom and pop shops where you can get small town, good food, but a place that's currently open right now, Pepper Palette is excellent for lunch. The food's fresh. They got great smoothies, good pastries. So that's probably some of my favorite eating right there.
Gotcha. So Gators, a lot of places to eat in town. Make sure you stop by and support the local businesses, especially when you get past, stay masked up, but make sure we support our local businesses, because a lot of places to eat here in town. Coach, you're very involved on campus as well, not just in the coaching of your sport and your athletes. You're one of the moderators, directors of Brothers for Brothers here on campus. You talk to us a little bit about that organization, what that organization is, and what you guys do.
It's intentional minority male leadership, and what we're trying to do with young men of color on campus here is provide a platform where they can speak freely and be themselves. We can talk about different social justice issues. Sometimes it's a platform for us just to fellowship and have a nice meal. Sometimes it's we're going to teach you how to tie a tie. Sometimes it's we're going to give you some interview skills. Sometimes it's, hey, we want to hear what you got to say, young man. Tell us what you feel on a regular basis. And that's really what it is. And in my mind, I think it provides an opportunity for leadership growth and development to make them better humans, which is what we want here on our campus for our young men of color, is for them to ultimately, when they cross the stage here at Allegheny, to not just be a student, not just be an athlete, but to be a well-rounded young man and ready to take on any challenge that might come their way after college.
That's awesome. And you guys do a great job with that. I know a lot of our guys are involved with that. You guys have had me sit in on meetings, and I really appreciate that opportunity. And again, thankful that you guys are doing this for our young men. It's a great thing. We're in the month of February. It's Black History Month. And the theme for this year is the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. Can you talk to us a little bit about that theme and what it means to you?
Well, to me, that's a very loaded question. Obviously being a Black man, something that I think a lot of people have said in research and things like that, that the Black family has been deconstructed over time here, through prejudice and different things that, the Black community has experienced, from mass incarceration to, laws that have been enacted to essentially prevent people of color from progressing in society. And I know that's, it's a very loaded statement right there, but for me, I think it's very important to understand that for us as Black people, we have to continue to strive and move forward and to persevere through anything that might come our way, and to not be afraid to have dialogue about how we're going to get better as a society, not just for Black folks, but for white folks as well, in those race relations between those two subgroups of people. So, that's very important to me. And I take that responsibility serious.
I agree. Again, just, in the month of January, having Martin Luther King Day, and doing some deep dives into that with our men, the committee you and I serve on, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, having those conversations, it is important. And that's what we have to do. We have to have this dialogue and keep this thing moving forward. Again, I preach patience and understanding. It's going to take time. We need to listen and understand each other. So happy to work with you on that committee. And I think we're doing some very good things here early on with that committee. So Gators, we got a little deep there. So let's have some fun here with Coach Linzy. We're going to play word association. All right,
oh, man.
Word association. All right. So I'm going to throw out a word. First thing that comes to your mind. All right. You ready, Coach? It's going to be rapid fire.
I'm ready.
Okay. Brian Roberts.
Incredible athlete.
Brandon Crum.
Very serious.
Bill Ross.
Calm and collected.
Coach Simmons, yours truly.
Hilarious.
You didn't disappoint, Coach. You didn't disappoint us there. What's as we get ready to wrap up here, what's one thing you would want to say to a young man or young woman that's looking at Allegheny College?
I think we got great people here. I think the education speaks for itself. It's one of the best private liberal arts schools in the country. I think that the people make the place. And the fact, again, even in some of these race relations talks, this committee that we're on, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, was created, because there are good people here. And we care about the experience of our young people here. So I think there's a lot of things that I would say, but number one, you got to understand you're going to be cared for as a young person. And I think with a college experience, I think that's the key to success in college, is having people in place that care about you as a young person.
That's great. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for joining us today, Coach. Gators, as always, make sure we stay safe, we stay together, we stay masked up, and refuse to lose.
Run fast, turn left, go get.